The magic words.
This meeting is being recorded. So, hi, welcome everyone. And
welcome to episode number 10.
And just a note to
Let's
myself.
Talk About It.
A note to self, remind myself, Ryan, don't talk over Sangeeta. Vinda is translating. Okay, that's it.
Sangeeta, don't talk over Ryan. Vinda is translating.
Yes. Okay, so hello everyone from
Vinda,
wherever you are.
Vinda, sorry. Ryan, one second. Vinda, note to you, we may still talk over each other. All the best.
We just pretend to be nice, okay? And usually, those people that pretend to be nice, they are not nice at all, okay? So.
At all. They are not nice at all.
Today, what's the topic?
So we have a very interesting topic today, Ryan. And I genuinely, personally love this topic. It is called, Are You Acknowledging? So in my description, I asked everybody if they acknowledge how far they have come, or are they still only judging how far they have to go?
When you say how far they have come, do you mean C-U-M or do you mean C-O-M-E?
I mean both.
All right.
But I actually initially just meant C-O-M-E, but I totally love where your head is going.
Okay. So tonight we talk about acknowledgement and changes. And this is something very important. But if you suck at acknowledging yourself, and if you are terrible at acknowledging changes, you might lose and give up or throw away a lot of changes that you have got and a lot of miracles. So where shall we start? This is your idea, Sangeeta. So where shall we start?
Yeah. So I would love to start from like really just asking this question that how many of us, like when we choose something or when we are like looking at something that we're wanting to change, how many of us like take a pause and actually acknowledge all the places that we have changed versus being really hard on ourselves and looking at everything that we have yet to change or not achieved? And what does that really create? Does that create more of the change, or does that create more of what we don't desire, which is the frustration, which is the problem, which is the fixing aspect versus the, oh my God, look how far I've come and now what else is possible? So I genuinely want to start there because I got this piece very late. I didn't get it right at the beginning of like my access journey. No one ever talked to me about acknowledgement and receiving. For me, the word thank you was like the greatest acknowledgement, and yet I didn't even know what gratitude really felt like or was like, because I was made to say it so often as a child that it became more like an obligation.
To be polite.
Yeah, like it's like something to be polite and to be obligated. And I hated it so much that when someone would say thank you to me, I would just totally dismiss it, like never even receive it. So for me, this has been quite a journey. And when I spoke to you about this topic, it was really from the space of like, of late, how much I have been asking for more of the gratitude to show up in my life and more of acknowledgement to show up. Because there were a lot of people who were showing up in my life and actually thanking me for the changes, also thanking me for like whatever, like if I was doing a session or a class, and I wanted to like really like be able to receive that. So I started asking and I didn't know how. And when I started asking, and what came to me was, oh, have I ever acknowledged myself for everything I have chosen up until today? And it was quite an emotional day for me, to be really honest, because the minute I acknowledged, like if I just look back 7 years ago when I got into access to who I am today, or like what I have today, or all the things that I've been able to do, it's nothing short of a miracle. And the minute I started acknowledging like myself, my space sort of expanded, and I received more acknowledgement, and I also received a lot more miracles.
Mhm. I think tonight let's just call this like acknowledgement and gratitude. I think that matched the energy more.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? I do want to mention something, Ryan. Like, the one thing that I noticed was that when I was willing to acknowledge myself, it opened up a space for me to acknowledge every person in my life. I could see where my choices have actually worked for me. Like, as silly as, like, like I joke about this all the time, that I love my husband, but I don't like the aspect of marriage. I really like him. I wish we were just boyfriend and girlfriend. I really wish we weren't married. But the other day, the craziest thing happened. I was actually grateful for choosing marriage too, and I was like, I must really be losing it, because I've always made so much joke about it. And then I could see, like, oh my God, what that choice had created for me, and like how I'm able to do what I do because of this choice, and have what I have because of this choice, which was insane. And that's when I actually was like, oh my God, this is magical. And I wonder how I know all of us talk about it. I've heard Gary say it. I know you've heard all facilitators say it a million times. And we may be facilitating that in our classes too. But like, honestly, how much do we ever acknowledge ourselves and acknowledge our choices, including the choices that we think are not working, or like are screwed up, like, and what would acknowledging that create?
Wow. Okay. I'm not even sure if I can be a bad cop tonight with this topic.
You can't, because I am like flowing so much acknowledgement to you for like just a simple act of like watching my one video and saying, hey Sangeeta, do you want to do something together? Fucking it created this series. I'm so freaking grateful. So you can't be bad cop today, but I will definitely give you reason to be bad cop soon enough.
All right. So, well, huge topic. And so I just for you all to understand more about where we are acknowledging and also having gratitude for the changes or not having the gratitude. So let's imagine this. If you have body issue, let's say you have pain and you go to a doctor, chiropractor or whatever, okay? So after that session with that guy, let's say 70% of your pain is gone. Now, where is your focus? Do you focus on the remaining 30% and judging that as a bad session? Or do you acknowledge like, oh my God, wow, that 70% is gone. Oh wow, what else is possible? Okay. Most people, well, they, even though they know the 70% is gone, their energy, their focus, their attention is all on the remaining 30% of what hasn't been changed. And usually right after that, they start bringing back those problems and then they start losing the changes.
Yep.
And then it becomes a cycle that people repeat, and then you go back to have another session, have some change, but because you don't acknowledge them, you cannot claim and own them, you lose them, and then it repeats. Okay.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of my time, a few years ago, I spent a lot of my time going to see a chiropractor because I had knee pain and some other issues a few years ago. And I was in this pattern. And I realized that's exactly how my father functioned. My father, his entire life, he is someone that will judge and judge and judge and judge. It's wherever he goes, whatever sessions that he had, it's all about what doesn't work. And I learned a lot about that from him. So all of you, from how old were you the first time you learned to unacknowledge, disacknowledge magic and changes and miracles? Like maybe 3-year-old, maybe 2 or something, or maybe 3 months.
Younger, maybe younger, yeah.
Yeah, 2 months.
Younger.
Okay. If you say 10, I wouldn't believe you. Trust me. I will acknowledge you as a liar. That's impossible. Everything that is times a gazillion. Now, please describe credit all.
Yes, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shots, boys and beyonds.
Okay. So that awareness allowed me to start changing it. So guys, get this. Once you have the awareness, and then it's like, oh my God, wow, I have this pattern. Now what do I choose? Okay. And unfortunately for a lot of people, they don't even have this awareness. They don't even realize what they are doing. They don't realize they don't have gratitude. They don't have acknowledgement. Okay. So please have more awareness. And so that means you have to have more acknowledgement and gratitude for yourself to start this process. Okay.
Yes. Also, I love what you said about like when we would go to get like, and that how much does that happen to all of us when we go to get a session, because we have decided that something is a problem, and we've decided it's a problem, so we are not even going to look at it as anything else. And then once you've decided something is a problem, can you really receive anything else from it? So everywhere you've already decided something is a problem in your life, someone or something is a problem. And now once you've decided they're a problem or that is a problem, can you really receive anything from it? Not even, you don't even receive that, oh, this is my choice. And once you can receive that, once you can acknowledge that, oh, even if it is not working for me, it's still something I chose. How empowering is it that once you acknowledge it, you're like, if I choose it, then I can also unchoose it. Everything that doesn't allow you to acknowledge your choices, can you please, and that you choose, can you please destroy and uncreate all of that?
Right, wrong, good and bad, talk and part, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. So like, let's say, so all of you, okay, so I'm sure you have done some classes, you have maybe had some sessions. Let's say in that session or that class, you only got like 1% of the session being useful to you. Okay, let's say that's almost impossible, but let's say you only got 1%. Will you be grateful for that 1%? Or will you be judging the other 99%? When you cannot be grateful for that 1%, you very much function from the lack and the need, and also the need to take. I noticed this with myself. When I didn't have gratitude many years ago, now I'm a lot better. I remember this, for example, when I paid someone for a session, I want to make sure I get the most out of it. Like, for example, for a 1 hour session, I will try to get at least 1 hour, 2 minutes. And then, you know, like at the end of the session, I was like, I have one more question. You know, I want to get a lot. And that was totally function from lack and the need to take from others. Okay, that's because my unwillingness to receive. Okay, or maybe I should say incapable to receive. And a few days ago, I had a session with another facilitator, and that was a 1 hour session, and it ended in 55 minutes. And for the first time in my life, I had gratitude. I was like, wow, okay, yeah, fine, that's fine. I don't need the remaining 5 minutes. Whatever I had right now, I'm happy with that. So I acknowledge this change about me. I was like, wow, I changed so much.
Yeah. And I love that. And thank you for bringing that up, because how often have you like chosen something and, you know, then wondered like, oh my, like recently I was in a class and I was like, I have no freaking idea why I chose this class. And when I just asked this, that, okay, what have I not acknowledged about this class or about me or about receiving this class? Like so much space opened up for me. Just this one question, that what am I not acknowledging here? So for every one of you who is on the call right now, and like look at recently, like a problem or something that you've decided is a problem, or someone that you can't get along with, or something that you've been trying to fix for a really long time and it just is refusing to change, or even like something that's like showing up in your body, whether it's a pain. Just like if you just take 1 minute right now and you just become really present with that and just ask, okay, what can I acknowledge about this that I'm refusing to acknowledge? That if I would acknowledge it, would actually change everything. And everything that doesn't allow that, can you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all nine, shots, boys, and beyonds. And it doesn't show up the way you think it's going to show up. But the minute you're willing to acknowledge it, you're willing to receive it. The minute you're willing to receive it, you can actually change it. So long as you're judging, like what you said, Ryan, like if we get even 1% and we acknowledge that 1% and we ask what else is possible, it grows. And you can have so much more of it. But the minute we go like, oh God, it was such a pathetic class. There was just one thing that I heard, everything else was trash. Or there was just one thing that was okay, everything else was trash. How much do we judge that? And then everything that we judge also grows. We have more of it. So where have you been creating more of what you don't desire instead of acknowledging what you do desire and receiving it and asking for more of that?
That sounds like a bad cop question.
But said by the good cop, so it was a really kind question. So everything that is, can we please destroy and uncreate it all, please?
Right, wrong, good and bad, talk and pot, all nine shots, boys and beyonds.
Yeah.
Okay, so gratitude is actually something very important here. You actually can be grateful for problems. Okay, so let me give you an example. So let's say you have a pain in your body. Okay, can you be grateful for that pain? Most people would not. Okay, when I first heard about this many years ago, I hate this idea. I hate this concept. I was like, how can I be grateful for this pain? I had this problem for my entire life. I fucking hate it. And so you see, when I was being this energy and I presented it just now, how much was I doing fight? And by fighting, I put more energy into it and it strengthened the problem. So a lot of problems that you try to overcome, somehow it has this characteristic of the more you fight it, the more you're feeding it power, and because you're judging it, and it just get harder and harder to change. And when you have the gratitude, you're like, hi, hey, let's not fight anymore. What can we change here?
Oh my God, that's such an invitation. I love that. Because there are so many times when something shows up like that, like a pain, like you said, like I have pain in my body, or something shows up. The first thing when we decide it's like a pain, a problem, the first thing we do is we have to get rid of it. Like there's this total energy of how do I get rid of it? There's this total energy of I don't want this in my life. And so there's this whole wall, there's this whole resistance. And the more we resist it, the more it persists.
And the more you say, I don't want this, it means I don't lack of this, you are creating it more in your life.
Absolutely, that one. Right. And so we create more of that. And that invitation that you just were like right now, that, hey, hi, what's going on? How can we change this? My God, my whole body relaxed with that. How does it get any better than this?
So people are so used to fight, like as if fight will create more. Well, it creates more of what you don't want.
Absolutely.
So when you can have gratitude for those quote unquote problems, you realize they can be a contribution to you. So actually, if you don't have any points of view, everything can be a contribution to you. But as soon as you have a problem, you have a point of view that is a problem, that is something bad, you start to push it away, you start to create separation, it cannot contribute to you, you have to fight it, and it gets stronger, and you are screwed, or you are fucked.
Absolutely. In fact, Ryan, it's really interesting, but if I look back the last 10 years of my life, everything that I thought was a problem actually was a stepping stone to something greater. I know I could only look at it in hindsight and say that, yeah, it did create greater for me. But during that time, I resisted it too, and I fought with it. And now that we're talking about it, I realized it changed the moment I went like, okay, fuck, this is what it is, but what am I going to choose next?
So you can look at each and every problem as an invitation for you to be greater. If you choose not to fight it and actually receive it and have gratitude for it.
Yeah, and I also think the missing piece is acknowledging the power and potency of you, acknowledging that you chose it and you have the power to unchoose it if it's not working for you, acknowledging that you can change it if you just choose something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how many problems are you busy fighting that you forget and you ignore your capability to just choose something different? Everything
Everything
that is
that is.
times, oh, Dillian, will now please describe and credit all.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, talk and hot, all 9 shorts, boys and girls. Okay, everyone, can you please lower down your barriers? I can feel like some of you are like not getting this at all. You're like pushing this back. Lower your barriers. All right.
And
cool.
also, we get it, guys. We get it. Like, it's not something that, everyone wants a solution, but nobody is willing to have a conversation around acknowledgement and receiving, because it's not done in this reality. We don't see very many people who receive really easily. We don't see very many people who truly acknowledge themselves or each other. Mostly it is very surface gratitude, especially when you need something from someone else. That's the only time you will actually acknowledge them, or you will actually be grateful for them. And there is a very energy of like a very give and take instead of a gifting and receiving. And really, we haven't grown up around people who've taught us, or who themselves have ever acknowledged themselves. So it's not something that is something that and you may know, and yet it's not something, because you've not seen it often enough. It's not something that you have in your life. And this may sound very, very alien, or very, very, I don't know, airy-fairy, spiritual or whatever. But like, we've read it everywhere that, yeah, you should be grateful. And if you're grateful, you have more of what you're grateful for. But no one ever teaches us how to be grateful. It's not just a thank you. It's so much more than just saying thank you.
So since the beginning of this call, like maybe 20 minutes ago, whenever you mention the word gratitude, and of course I mentioned it as well, I can perceive in a lot of people's world about all the incorrect or erroneous point of view about gratitude. Like, for example, if you have someone say to you, you should have gratitude, how will you react? Will you receive that, or will you like, fuck, no,
Fuck
I'm
you,
so
no
wrong.
way.
I will fight more. So
Yeah.
all of you, everywhere that you have been judged, you have been told you don't have gratitude by those who don't have gratitude, mostly.
Oh, that one? People judge you for what they are doing themselves?
Yes.
Is that one?
Yes. Okay, people only accuse you of what they themselves are doing. If someone says you are selfish, look at that person. Their entire life, they are maybe the most selfish motherfucker ever. Okay. And so a lot of time people will project that onto you, and you bought into it. And then you consider yourself as someone that don't know how to have gratitude, and you just screw up everything from there. So everything that brings up, wherever that had happened to you, will you please destroy and credit all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pop and pot, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And how many fake gratitude have you been receiving? Wow. Do you know what I mean, fake gratitude? And well, that's almost everywhere now. Okay, gratitude doesn't mean you say thank you. If you look at a little kid, even though they don't have language, if you give them something, even though it's just a piece of paper, they receive you totally. They have gratitude for you. But now we do gratitude. See, we do gratitude like a doing, like an autopilot behavior,
Yep.
without actually mean it. Okay, so everywhere that we have this, gratitude means this for any of you, and everywhere that you learn this from other people and think this means gratitude, and it's so different than what you know what gratitude actually is. Will you please describe and credit all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, talk and hot, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds.
So everywhere you are not, it's not like you don't know what gratitude is, and it's not even like you don't have it. It's like when you were born, you are gratitude. You know how to receive people fully. Like, you see them, like, and you're okay. And like receiving means doesn't matter who you are. Like, I see you with no point of view. And that's what children do. That's why it's so nice to be around kids. Some of us really feel like so relaxed when we're around kids, because now we don't have to pretend to be anything else, because it's okay to be you. And that is acknowledgement. And that is an element of gratitude. Like, how many of you always had it and then you learned from adults what gratitude is, which it wasn't? Can we please destroy and uncreate all of that?
Right, wrong,
Right
good
and
and bad,
wrong,
talk and
good,
part,
bad,
nine
purple,
short
all
boys and
nine
beyond.
short person. And thank you so much for bringing that up, Ryan, because in my life, I was brought up with an aunt who kept telling me how ungrateful I am and that I'm the most ungrateful child she's ever seen. And I didn't even know what that meant. But for me, as I grew up, I learned that till I don't say thank you 10 times or 20 times to someone, or that if they've done something for me, I don't do something greater for them back, I'm not being grateful. You know?
Uh-huh.
And like that, and I started getting so irritable about the whole
I can't hear you. You are like a
I
robot.
was like, I don't want to be. Oh,
You,
sorry.
you were
Is
freezing
this
for a
better?
few. Yes, now it's good. You were freezing for a few moments.
It's okay.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. So how many of us were projected at as being ungrateful, like Ryan said, by those who didn't have an ounce of gratitude in their life, and we gave up what we knew about gratitude
And also
and
those
decided we were.
and also those people that cannot or unwilling to receive gratitude. So even if you have gratitude for them, because of their unwillingness to receive, it becomes your problem.
Yeah.
Everything that
Everything
brings
that
up
is.
times a godzillion. We'll now please destroy and create it all.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, talk and part, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So let's simplify that. Hopefully we can. So, or at least I know I can. So, what have you decided? What have you misidentified and misapplied as gratitude that is not gratitude? Everything that is times a gazillion. We'll now please destroy and create it all. Right, wrong, good and bad, talk and part, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. What have you misidentified and misapplied as not gratitude that is actually gratitude? Everything that is times a gazillion. We'll now please destroy and create it all. Right, wrong, good and bad, talk and part, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. We have someone unmuting himself or herself. Do you have a question? Or should I mute you? I will mute you. Oh, sorry.
Does anybody have a question?
So sorry, please unmute yourself again. I muted you too quickly. Sorry.
You are being the bad cop.
Well, I did it so that we can have a clear audio recording. It's for everyone. And no one believed me at all. Right? So let me repeat that. So what have you misidentified and misapplied as gratitude that actually is not? And what have you misidentified and misapplied as not gratitude that actually is gratitude? Everything that is times a godzillion. Will now please destroy and create it all. Right, wrong, good and bad, talk and part, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay.
Also, what have you made so vital, valuable, and real about never being grateful for you? So you can never receive from you and you can never acknowledge you. Can you please destroy and uncreate all of that?
Dum-dum.
Right and wrong, good and bad, Oh my God, the bad cop couldn't wait.
Sorry, that was the previous episode. Okay, no more dum-dum for today. No more, no. So, can you please repeat that?
Yes. What have
I
you made
promise I
so
will not
vital,
say
valuable?
dum-dum.
What have you made so vital, valuable, and real about only being grateful to others and never being grateful to you, so that you can never receive from you and never acknowledge you and never acknowledge the magic and the miracles and the possibilities you are for all eternity? Everything that is, can we please destroy and uncreate it all?
Right, wrong, good and bad, part and part, all nine shots, boys and
All nine
beyonds.
shots, boys and beyonds. Dum dum. I'm with the dum dum. It was nicer with the dum dum.
You cannot hold back. So, if you
No,
are
it was
offended,
nicer
we
with
are
the
not
dum dum.
sorry. Okay, just for your information. Feel free to be offended. So, okay, so someone asked a question. So, can you give examples, please? Example of what? Lack of self-gratitude?
I think the question was before I started this clearing. So I think it was about when you were talking about what have you misidentified and misapplied as gratitude.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so think of those moments when someone appear to be showing or expressing gratitude to you and you feel weird. Think about those situations, okay? And sometimes people, and you also know, the only reason why they express gratitude is because they want to take more from you. How many of you receive this gratitude from other people and you actually know what they intend to do? Okay, so those are fake gratitude. Okay, everything that is times a gazillion will now please destroy and create it all. Right, wrong,
Yes.
good and bad, punk and part, all nine shots, boys and beyonds. Ooh. We all have had a lot of people around us doing that.
Isn't that this reality's way of functioning anyway?
Totally.
Which is why I love one of those clearings when we do is always like, what beyond this reality acknowledgement can we be for ourselves and can we be for each other? Because what acknowledgement really is and what gratitude really is does not exist in this reality. So everywhere you have misidentified and misapplied what gratitude and acknowledgement really is, can you please destroy and uncreate all of that?
Right, wrong, good and bad, punk and part, all nine shots, boys and beyonds. And now that person is asking, what about the other one? So, meaning people not showing gratitude, but actually showing gratitude. Well, there are some examples like this. Sometimes okay, everyone have different way of expressing gratitude. Okay, but then sometimes if they express gratitude in a way that doesn't match your point of view of how a gratitude should be, you think that is not a gratitude. Okay, so then you will reject that, and then you might go around and even blame that person, like, see, that person will never be grateful for me. Okay, so and a lot of that, it comes from you not acknowledging you, not receiving you, and not capable of having gratitude for yourself. So you cannot receive the other when other people show gratitude to you. Okay.
Yeah. So there's another question. If you had to put words to it, what does acknowledgement of self mean? Okay. So for me, acknowledging myself is really just an energy that I'm willing to be. It's an energy that I'm willing to like receive from me. So sometimes of late, what has been happening is that every time I wake up in the morning and I'm actually in a funk or I'm not feeling too good, if I ask this question, okay, what about me have I not acknowledged, and what beyond this reality acknowledgement can I give myself? Usually the energy just totally shifts. It just becomes lighter. And for me, it is also it's an acknowledgement of, okay, like, oh, everything that I create everything. So what would I choose today?
Yes, the acknowledgement of I create everything is very important. It takes you out of blame. It takes you out of playing the role of victim and being affected by other people. For example, we always ask, are you willing to destroy and uncreate? What does that mean? You have to acknowledge you are the creator of everything in your life, the good, the bad, the ugly. And when you can acknowledge that, you're like, oh, wow, I created that. Now I will uncreate that. But look at those people around you that they never want to acknowledge themselves. They only play blame all the time. They're like, it's always because of you or who or the government said something and then now I'm affected. Those people never change. 5 years ago, they complained the same thing as they will be today. And you also can predict another 10 years down the road, they will still talk about the same old shit. Okay, so that clearing statement, that question, it has that acknowledgement in it for you to realize you are the creator of everything in your life. And so you can change that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think also like the beauty about asking questions, really, thank you so much for whoever asked this question. I want to let everybody know that, because like I said, that whenever we ask for like acknowledgement, normally Gary or Dane will tell us to ask for acknowledgement beyond this reality acknowledgement. Can I give myself? Can we give each other? For two reasons. One, like we said, that gratitude and acknowledgement is so misidentified and misapplied over here, and clearing that would kind of sort of open up a space for you. But the other thing is also because it is beyond this reality, because you may have experienced it as a child, or you may have never experienced it, and this is about beyond this reality. If you ask the universe to show it to you, like, okay, universe, can you show me what acknowledgement of me is really like? And if I ask like, okay, show me what does acknowledgement, I did this once, like because of this whole misidentified and misapplied space of gratitude, where I misapplied and misidentified gratitude as obligation. So every one of you who has misidentified and misapplied gratitude for obligation, can we please destroy and uncreate all of that?
Right, wrong, good and bad,
Right, wrong.
Nice shots, boys and beyond.
Because the energy of obligation is, oh, you did this for me, so now I owe you something. Whereas when you're grateful, you can also be grateful for people for being an asshole or for not doing something that you asked them to do. You can still be grateful for that. There's a very different space. Gratitude is no point of view. You're just thankful for someone or something to exist in your life. They don't have to do anything about it. But obligation is like, you did this for me, so now I have to do something for you, either the same or even more. So everything that brought up or let down, can we please destroy and uncreate it all?
Right, wrong, good and bad, talk and part, all nice shots, boys and beyond.
So when I asked, like when I first got to know that gratitude, you can be grateful for people for being like assholes too. That was like a real, like a mind fuck for me. I was like, how can you be thankful for people for being assholes, right? Like I was like, how does that even work? So and it was really like, oh my God, how does that even work? Like what the hell? Like what is he trying to say? What is Gary saying? So I actually, since for me it was like, babe, what is gratitude for you? And I was like, fuck, it's always been obligation. I've never been willing to have it because it's always been obligation. The one thing I said, I'll never be obligated to anybody. So I created so much separation. I was like, I don't want anyone to do anything for me. So guess what? Nobody could do anything for me. And it kind of became that whole story of, oh my God, I have to do everything myself.
That is totally anti-receiving.
Completely. It was like a total shutdown. And I was like, I had to do everything myself till I asked myself that, okay, 1 second, what the hell is going on? Like everywhere gratitude is obligation, and you just wouldn't, not just be grateful to someone, but you're also not willing to receive it from anyone. Can you please destroy and uncreate all of that?
Right, wrong, good and bad, all nine shots, boys and beyond. So everyone, if you have this point of view, I have to do everything myself. This is a very much implanted point of view. So let's clear it. How we do it is we say it 3 times. So repeat after me. I have to do everything myself. Or I have to do everything on my own. Okay, this has more energy. I have to do everything on my own. I have to do everything on my own. I have to do everything on my own. Well, more. I have to do everything on my own. Everything that brings up all the Shiko implant explants, creating all of that shit and maintaining that as your reality and keeping it unchangeable will please destroy and create it all. Times a Godzilla. Right, wrong, good and bad, park and part, all 9 shots, boys and beyond.
And everywhere we've also been implanted with that you should never ask anyone for anything. So you just stop your receiving right there. when I was small, I was always told that you shouldn't ask anyone for anything. You shouldn't ask money from anyone. You shouldn't ask for help from anyone. If you ask, you're weak. If you ask, you're lesser. So everywhere we also then, because we were not willing to ask, we also cannot, when you don't ask, you can't receive. And everywhere now you shut down your receiving of gratitude, acknowledgement, and anything else that could come to you with ease. Can we please destroy and uncreate all of that?
Right, wrong, good and bad, talk and part, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And not only that you cannot ask, but you have also been told you must help everyone.
Yeah, you must help everyone. That one. You can't ask, but you should be there for everyone. What the fuck?
So you're like, I have nothing and I still need to keep giving. I feel so tired. I'm so empty, but fuck, I still need to give more, otherwise I'm wrong. And that's why a lot of people, you feel like life sucks. You're so tired. You feel like cannot go forward. You feel like no one can help you. So whatever this is, we please destroy and create it all.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, talk and part, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. So gifting and receiving simultaneously, that's contribution. Okay, contribution doesn't mean you just give it out. Receiving contribution doesn't mean you take. That's taking, that's not receiving. Receiving and gifting simultaneously, that's contribution.
And I'm so glad you say that, because sometimes when someone is gifting to us and we totally receive it, it's a total gift for them. And when we gift to someone and they totally receive it with no point of view, that is an element of gratitude. That is a gift to us. So, like, for how many of you do you know people who, when you give to, you actually become happier? It creates more space, even if they don't say thank you to you. That's gratitude and acknowledgement. Everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive that, can you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. Yes, including material things. And for how many of you it is that when people give you something, it's so dense, like you just can't receive it.
So let's see what else. What do you mean getting selfish where I want to hear thank you? What do you mean? I don't get it.
Can I see the chat?
Well, you.
Oh, getting selfish.
Sangeeta might understand you. Man is not the mind reader. Man terribles at mind reading. Okay, so.
Okay. Getting selfish when I want to hear thank you, that I feel like I need. Oh, okay. So I don't know if LMAO means that I understood, that's why I'm laughing my ass off, or does that mean that I'm laughing my ass off because Ryan, you didn't understand me?
Because I said the ultimate truth for all mankind. Man terribles at reading mind. And you women keep expecting men to read mind. So the real truth is, behind every angry woman, there is a man that has no idea what he did.
That's going to be our next call, is it? Is that going to be the next call? I think we're going to talk about that. Let's talk about it.
Why is this so funny? This is what you all have been doing your entire lives.
But it is funny because it's light, because it's true, Ryan.
Yes, men always wrong. Yes. Just because they are men, they are wrong. Okay.
Dumb. For all the men who've been trying to be right with their women, can you please destroy and uncreate all of that? Can you
never. No. Right, wrong, good and bad, fuck and pot, all 9 shots, boys and girls.
Well,
and if you're a man watching this, let me tell you what, if you are willing to be wrong, you have world peace. World peace, not just your family peace, world peace. Okay?
Absolutely.
Or galaxy peace. If you are not willing to be wrong, you are screwed, and you are still wrong anyway, whether you like it or not.
And what if in this lifetime that's what you came to know and be and learn wrong? Can you please everything that doesn't allow you to have that with total ease, can you please destroy and uncreate it all?
Right, wrong, good and bad, all 9 shots, boys and girls. I'm going to write a book I'm going to publish a book. Maybe it has 100 pages. How to have a happy marriage. And then you open it, page 1, be wrong. And then there's nothing else. The remaining 99 pages, just plain white page, blank page.
Because it's peace, right? It's just a white flag. Right, peace.
No. Page 2 is refer back to page 1. Page 3, if you get page 1, you don't need any other pages.
Don't worry, man. Someone said men won't buy it. Don't worry, all the women will gift it to their men.
Yes, you will make sure you buy 10 copies and put it in every corner of your house.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One element I know of acknowledgement and gratitude is when you have it for you, you can have it for someone else. When you have it for you, you are like, okay, if I've created this, I can change it. And I know that the more I've had it for me, I've been able to look at people I love and have gratitude for them for choosing even shit and go like, I know they'll change it when they change it. And I don't have to push it and force it on them. You know, I'm willing for them to like choose crap for as long as they choose it, because I know that I choose it for as long as I choose it. Yeah.
All right. So I think I totally changed the topic with that. So
No.
let's go back.
No, I loved it. I loved it because of what you said, because of the fact that it came to me that how much women are always trying to change their men, and they don't realize it, that when you do that, your relationship is actually already over and you don't know it. Because you stop having gratitude for what they are. You're only willing to have them and, you know, be with them if they're willing to be what you require of them or what you want them to be. And that is not an element of gratitude. Which is why I said it, because it just struck me that, oh my God, that's so cool. Like, if we're always wanting someone to be something for us that we're not willing to be for ourselves. So everything that brought up or let down, can we please destroy and uncreate all of that?
Right, wrong, good and bad, talk and part, all 9 shots, voice and beyond. So what are you not willing to be that you keep seeking it externally, but because you cannot be, you will never receive and you are screwed. I think I will add you are screwed to every clearing tonight. Instead of
cool.
Everything that it comes to Brazilian, we will not destroy and create it all. Right,
yes.
wrong, good and bad, talk and part, all 9 shots, voice and beyond. And everywhere that you have misidentified, misapplied gratitude, and you are screwed, will you please destroy and create it all. Right, wrong,
yes.
good and bad, talk and part, all 9 shots, voice and beyond. And all the men that you keep trying to be right and you are so screwed, beyond screwed, and you will still be screwed again, will you please destroy and create it all. Right, wrong, good and bad, talk and part, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds.
So someone on the chat is asking, like, if I can explain that again, and I can explain that again. I'm saying that if you marry someone, or you're in love with someone, or you're with someone, it doesn't have to only be a romantic relationship. Whoever you are with, if you reach a point where your whole objective is, how do I get them to change anything? Like, even if it's a small thing, like, how do I get them to put a cap on the toothpaste if they've lived like that all their life without putting the cap on the toothpaste? Your relationship is already over and you don't know it.
And you are screwed.
And you're screwed. So everything that is, yes. And this is the space where you're not grateful for the other person. This is the space where you're not acknowledging the other person for whatever they bring or they are, and, you know, who they be. And this is where you are not receiving them at all. So everything that is, can you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all 9 shots, boys and men. Yes, it works both ways. But the bummer is men never try to change women.
What?
Mostly men don't try to change women. Women change to fit into what they assume men want, because that's how we've been trained. You have to make your man happy. You have to understand all his needs. Where do you think we learn how to read fucking minds? Right.
I so disagree with that, just for your information.
So I'm going to change that. Most men don't try to change the women. But most women always try and change the man. So
I still disagree with that. Just, okay, ignore that. Well, now, see, See, okay, everyone, learn this. Sangeeta, you are right. Sorry, my point of view is totally wrong.
No, no, Ryan. I'm going to do it. No, Ryan, you're not wrong. You just have a different point of view. And you're allowed to have a different point of view. See?
Ah. All right.
You're
So,
screwed. You're actually underneath that is you're screwed. I'll see you after the call.
oh shit. Everyone, so
No.
I have an announcement. If this is the last episode ever, you know I really screw up. And because of my insistence to be right, and I am even more screwed. So, and then there will be no more episode.
No. So, but guys, like, really get this. Like, and that's my interesting point of view. Like, most men that I've met have never tried to change me, but I changed myself because I thought it'll make them happier.
Okay.
And then I reach a point where I give myself up and I'm like, I did all of this for you. And they're like, but who asked you? And I'm screwed now.
Okay, so most men, so this, you actually said it, most men that you have met never try to change you. Okay, is it because you were way too powerful and you actually took them out? Have you ever acknowledged you are that powerful? Oops. No. We talk about acknowledgement, all right? And you don't acknowledge how powerful you are. Everything that is. Thanks to God, Jillian. All of you women, everywhere that you have never acknowledged how powerful you are. And you keep looking at men as the source of power. That screw up both sides. Will you please destroy and create it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, hot and hot, all 9 short boys and girls. Who the hell unmute? Sorry, that was too intense. Hi, who was unmuting herself? Do you have a question? It's a Chinese name. Hi, do you have a question? 你有问题要问吗？不然的话我就把你静音。So, okay, mute.
Hey, Ryan, that was quite sexy when you just turned into Chinese. Like, that was really sexy. Just acknowledging.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
See, that's receiving. So, well, so what is it about you that you will never acknowledge and, well, you refuse? I wouldn't say never, okay? But what is it about you that you refuse to acknowledge, refuse to receive? And when other people acknowledge you, you will not receive as well. And that creates something. I want to say like screwing up, but it's not. It doesn't quite read. Okay, so everywhere that you are the screw up one that cannot receive and cannot acknowledge you, will you please destroy and credit all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, hot and hot, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, put it this way. Okay.
Also, I think, you know what, like, the one thing that we don't acknowledge ourselves for is our power and potency. We are very easily to acknowledge how fucked up we are, but we will never acknowledge how powerful and how potent we are. And that's where we screw up. So everything that is, can we please destroy and uncreate all of that?
Right, wrong, good and bad, hot and hot, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And if you think you acknowledge how fucked up you are, that is not acknowledgement.
That is judgment.
Fucked up, that is judgment.
So everywhere we've misidentified and misapplied acknowledgement for judgment and judgment for acknowledgement. Can we please destroy and uncreate all of that? Right, wrong, good and bad, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Whoa, okay. So everywhere you are so quick to judge you and think that you're acknowledging all the places that you're screwed up when actually you're judging yourself for screwing up. Can we please destroy and uncreate all of that?
Right, wrong, good and bad, talk and pot, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds.
And everywhere we've been entrained by this reality to never acknowledge us so that we never tap into how magical, how possible, how potent, and how powerful we are so that this reality can continuously control us. Can we please now revoke, destroy, and uncreate all of that?
Right, wrong, good and bad, punk and pot, online, short boys and beyonds.
And that's like, that is huge. So can we do some 5, 9, 11s for that, Ryan?
Well, as a man, if you ask, I must say yes. So let's go for it.
Please. I love it. Let's do this, guys. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 5, 9, 11, 14, 15, 19, 20, 5, 9, 11, 14, 15, 19, 20, 5, 9, 11, 14, 15, 19, 20. Everywhere we've been entrained, everywhere the techie reality wants us to never acknowledge how potent, how powerful, how magical, how possible we are, so that it can always control us, diminish us, make us less. Can we please revoke, destroy, and uncreate all of that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. 5, 9, 11, 14, 15, 19, 20. 5, 9, 11, 14, 15, 19, 20. 5, 9, 11, 14, 15, 19, 20. 5, 9, 11, 14, 15, 19, 20. Whew. Awesome. Awesome. Well, what do the numbers mean? It's actually an energetic contribution, and you need to come to a foundation class for that. Ah. She says, ah. I love it. Okay, cool. So, wow, cool. So generally, whenever we go, and that whole conversation now, it ties up to like every time we go into a contraction, every time we go into a judgment, every time we go into something like we are feeling wonky or we are feeling funky, when we ask, what beyond this reality acknowledgement can have I not given to myself, or can I give to myself? That's where you begin to acknowledge the possibility of you, the potency of you, the power of you, the magic of you, the miracles of you. And that creates the space for something to change. And everywhere you don't allow yourself to have this, can we please destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, pod and pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. And when you give someone else beyond this reality acknowledgement, what you're acknowledging them for is their power, their potency, their possibility, their magic, and their miracle. And how much space can you create? Can you be the invitation and the space for them to acknowledge their power, their possibility, their potency, and their magic? And everything that doesn't allow that, can you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, pock, all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. Awesome. And where did Ryan disappear? Ryan, are you here?
I'm here, but when a woman talks, men should not talk.
You know what? That's one of the things I love most about you. Such a gentleman. So awesome, guys. I'm just quickly looking at the chat while Ryan is still trying to receive what a gentleman he is.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me
that. So what is the one thing you can never receive about you, Ryan? Everything that is, can you please destroy and uncreate it all?
No, I will pretend my internet just got frozen.
Okay, guys. So what is the one thing that you can never, ever acknowledge and receive about you? Oh, yuck. Everything that is, can you please destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad.
All 9 shots, boys and beyonds. You see, with Zoom, I can avoid. I can just pretend like I'm not moving. Okay, see, it's frozen. Okay, what did you say just now, Sangeeta? I didn't get that part. Can you please repeat?
I will repeat it for you because I like you, so I will repeat it for you. So truth, what is the one thing that you can never ever, that you refuse to acknowledge about yourself, of yourself, that if you would just acknowledge it would change everything in your life? Everything that doesn't allow that, can you please destroy and uncreate it all?
I'm done with that.
Receive. Right, and
all 9 shots, boys and beyonds. And man, if a woman tell you to receive, you better receive, or you are screwed.
But you know what? If you receive, you're screwed in a good way.
Okay, that's a different story. That's a different story.
Oh my God, we totally have to do the next call. I totally know what we're doing next, but cool. So someone is really, you're like the Dane of Asia, because everyone wants to get you married.
They are, well, if I say you are
Ryan,
crazy, that's an acknowledgement. That's not a judgment. You are crazy.
but Ryan, look, everyone, like I have like at least a couple of messages saying Ryan resists to get married. Ryan resists to get married. Ryan resists to get married. Well,
Really? Do we have that many?
we have a couple. One
I
voice for
saw.
lots of women.
Well, that's a choice. Because I said so. So,
Okay, guys, like seriously, Ryan, I really want you to, if there is something you can add to this, because that's one thing that we will never acknowledge about ourselves is how fucking powerful we are.
mm-hmm. So,
What do we
everywhere
do?
that you believe you are so screwed up and you screwing up match your reality more, being powerful, it's, you never even imagined that being possible. Will you please destroy and create it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, talk and thought, all 9 shorts, boys and beyond.
I do want to give people, I do want to give everyone on this call a little secret. Anything that you've made like the biggest problem in your life, even if it's your body, if it's money, if it's relationship, or anything else out there that you made the biggest problem, it's because you have the most potency with it, but you just would not acknowledge it.
I don't think anyone understands you.
I know. And I'm saying, this is why I'm saying it, so that it percolates in their universe and they probably leave this call with that. Guys, just get this. Everything you've made the biggest problem in your life is because you have the biggest capacity with it, but you just will not look at it, you will not own it, you will not claim it, and you will not recognize it, and you will not choose to acknowledge it, and then use it against you. So everything that is, and everywhere you're doing that, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong,
Right,
good and
wrong,
bad,
good and bad,
buttermilk,
talk and thought, all
online,
9 shorts,
shots,
boys and
boys,
beyond.
and beyonds. So what are you refusing to acknowledge about you? And everywhere you're using what you're most potent and powerful with to screw yourself up the most with, can you please revoke, destroy, and uncreate yourself? Yourself only. Just blast. You know, I said destroy and uncreate yourself.
Well, so everyone, let's acknowledge it. Okay, let's acknowledge this. How much more space do you have right now? Like you feel like you don't have a brain now. Okay, we create like miracle in this one last hour, and so at least acknowledge this space, this whatever you have let go, you have changed, whatever new awareness that you just got, and how much more of you do you get, and are you being more of you now? Okay, so just and more powerful, more potent. Just acknowledge that.
Yeah, and I also want you guys to just like know that now more than ever, you there is a requirement for you to acknowledge you. If you are willing to create a future and contribute with the earth and create the future you desire, you have to acknowledge you. You have to start acknowledging your potency, your power, your capacities, so that you can contribute to being the energy that will create the future you desire to have in the world. And everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, no, be, receive all of that, can you please destroy and uncreate all of that? Please. Right, wrong, good, bad, but fuck, all 9 shots, boys, and you get to create the freaking future. And if you don't acknowledge that you can and that you have the power to choose that, then the future will create itself, and you just have to live as per someone else's creation. Everything that is, can you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, but fuck, all 9 shots, boys, and cool, awesome. So
I'm
Ryan.
done. I have nothing else that I want to say.
Yeah, me too. And I just wanna tell you this, that I'm so grateful for Access. One of the times that I was listening to Shannon's call, she said, if you get off a call feeling really weird, you've done a great job. So congratulations, Mr. Ryan T. And thank you for being my partner in crime on this one.
Thank you too for, I don't even know how we started this, like a few months ago.
I have no idea.
Thank you.
I have no idea. But thank you, and I'll see you guys soon. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And we'll be back soon with the men and women conversation next on our next episode. Thank you, guys.
And
Thank you, Sangeeta.
if you
Thank you,
just
Ryan.
want to make
Thank
an
you,
announcement, if you
Sangeeta.
are
Thank you,
interested in
Ryan.
attending X-Men class,
Thank you, Sangeeta and Rehan. It was awesome.
On
Okay, guys, 1
14th.
second, guys. Ryan has a X-Men class coming up. Ryan, let me do this for you. Ryan has an X-Men class coming up on the 14th. If you haven't seen his YouTube invite, please ask Fenna to send it out to all of you. I will put it up on my page. I've already shared it on the WhatsApp group. He's brilliant. This is his forte. Please join him on the 14th for an X-Men class. Ryan, do you want to add anything to that?
At least watch the free video, and if you don't watch, you are screwed. That's my
Yeah.
announcement.
Cool.
And
Awesome.
on 20th, I have this being you in business. Okay, if you lose yourself in business, if business doesn't seem to be fun for you, whatever you know is possible doesn't seem to be able to achieve because you are not being you. So that's on 20th. So they are
And
all
I
online,
have-
one-day class.
Cool. And I have one class which is coming up on the 13th. It's a very exciting class for me because I get to do it. I did it 2 years ago and I just recertified for it. It's a right body for you class on weight, on body weight. So that's on the 13th. So if any of you would like to play with me, the details Fenna very kindly has already put in the chat for Ryan's classes and my classes. And we will see you guys on one of this. And we'll
I
see
just
you
want
soon.
to add something. I did a right body for you class once, and that took me out of my mind a lot. If you are a very mind-tripping person, you might fuck yourself all the time. Learn to receive from your body, and right body for you is a perfect place for that.
Thank you so much, Ryan, for that. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Awesome. Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
guys.
Ryan. Thank you, Sangeeta. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you.
Thank you.